Hey everybody, this is Travis with Lighthouse Property Management, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about managing high-end rental properties. And many people don't even know that this is a category here in Metro Atlanta. Real common in other markets for people to pay thousands of dollars a month in urban areas, San Francisco, New York, LA. But most folks don't know that there are people right here in South Metro Atlanta that are paying thousands of dollars to rent really nice houses in neighborhoods that you would definitely recognize the names. So here goes. High-end rentals. What is different about managing a high-end rental property versus maybe what people would think of as a typical rental property? What's the difference between $1,000 rental property and a $2,000 rental property, maybe, as far as how do you manage those properties? So number one would be, what I find to be true is if you have a really large home, you typically have more invested in the landscaping of that property. The community usually dictates that. So you've probably got maybe $10,000, maybe $20,000 worth of landscaping that needs to be maintained. Oftentimes that's the part that is neglected with a tenant that may otherwise be taking care of the interior, but really is not going to get out in your yard and spend too many weekends working in your yard. So I would recommend a yard service to go with your rental. Something that's maintained and controlled by your property manager, or you if you're managing it yourself. It also puts presence on the property for you every week. This area of the country here in Metro Atlanta, you're going to want weekly service during peak growing seasons. Now, I would also tell you that you want chemicals to be applied professionally to your yard. I mean, ultimately, the grass could get a little high. That's not going to really damage a whole lot, but what is going to damage your property is going to be weeds. And what is less likely is that your tenants are going to go to the store, take a weekend, purchase the product, spray the weeds, even if the lease says that. So my recommendation is take that out of their hands. Again, nothing they're doing malicious, it's just a lot of time, energy invested into somebody else's yard ultimately for these tenants. So pay for the yard service, pay for the chemicals. It's here at Lighthouse, we have those services really reasonable with some local contractors, so worth doing. The other issue with larger homes is you tend to have multiple heat pumps or air condition units. So you want to have those serviced quarterly also. Again, easy to change the filter in the one that's easy to get to, but if you got to get into the attic, it's 110 degrees in the attic that day. Maybe the tenant isn't going to do that as often as you would like. And since these houses are large enough to have multiple units, you want to make sure that's being taken care of on a regular basis. So just outsource that. That's kind of an easy call there, and it could save you thousands on a new unit. So that's a bit of a different scenario than a smaller home that would have one unit. And also you need to know that we have kind of a new category of tenants, especially in this area with all the healthcare businesses exploding here in South Metro Atlanta. So we're renting to a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of folks that are moving into town that great credit profiles. They don't know how long they're going to be here. Maybe it's a contract-based thing, and they're renting properties instead of buying properties at a record pace. So these properties do rent. The $2,000, $2,200, $2,400 category is a very viable property here in Fayette, Coweta, the South Metro area, as far as with our property management company. So want to let you know that these folks are out there, and you might want to consider renting your house if you're in a situation where you're not ready to sell it. That market is there. It probably wouldn't sit vacant very long. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and look forward to speaking with you guys further on this topic.